It's kind of hard for
Right.
me. I
Yes.
am not.
Okay. Yeah, man. Just the more you use it, the more you learn. Really.
Right.
All right. Hello, Ariel.
Hello, guys. Can you hear me?
How are thou
Ariel.
doing today?
What's
Well,
poppin'?
it's been a really rainy day here in Yucatan. It's very rainy, but it's okay. It's cool.
Yes. Yeah, I have a student in Yucatan in my other class, and she told me the same thing. And she said her connection was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There was
I
a
understand.
storm this weekend.
Really?
Yeah, storm.
Where is Yucatan? Is it like on the east side of Mexico or the west side of Mexico?
Southwest. The southwest, near to Cancun, Quintana Roo, Campeche. Yeah.
Southeast, no?
No, well, normalmente decimos sureste. I think southeast.
Yeah, southern east. No?
Southern is that's the word. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought Yucatan was like in the middle part of Mexico.
Yeah.
But it's in the bottom. Wow. Okay. It's awesome. And Luis, nice to have you here, man. I'm happy
Hi.
to have you here alive. And you look well fed.
Thank you.
All right. Great. Gabby, how are you today?
I don't know, a little bit cold, me, but I'm okay. Summarizing, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's good. Yes. Another day, another dollar, as they say.
Yep.
Well, guys, so I checked Miguel and Uriel's writing. I don't know who else sent me their writing. Gabby, did you send me yours?
No, not yet. But it's already done.
Not yet.
Okay.
Yes.
Do I have to
Okay,
send you
okay.
by WhatsApp?
If you want to, you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
WhatsApp or email. I prefer WhatsApp because it's easier because I'm gonna send it to you on WhatsApp.
Okay.
You know the corrections.
Okay. Yes.
But yes.
Okay.
So Uriel, I know you sent me your writing already corrected.
Yeah.
Miguel, did you?
If I corrected it, no.
Yeah. Did you send me? No, you haven't corrected it yet.
No, not yet.
Okay. Try to do that as soon as possible. Like tonight. Well, I have a lot of things to do tonight, but I will also correct it during the night, and I will be sending those things to you. Okay.
All right.
And let's see. Like I said, today is the last week, and I just want you to like think that we're only going to work on the skills. We're only going to work on the skills. Okay. And we're going to have the sample test tomorrow. Okay. So today, we already practiced the speaking and the writing. You're doing it with me. So today we're going to focus on the reading and the listening. Okay. We actually have a reading test, like an example from the reading test here, and I will show it to you. But first, I would like to show you something that I got from Cambridge. So as I don't know if all of you know that in the past English Access was called, Cambridge something. So this was like a big like descendancy from Cambridge. And so we, that's like our guideline, Cambridge. Let's see, where is my reading, tips for reading. Yes. So I want to show you this thing that we got from Cambridge. Any day now. Yes. And I'm going to send this to you later, okay? Maybe for those of you who are teachers, you can read this and also show it to your students or give it to your students, okay? This is for students and parents. All right, let's do one page at a time. All right, this guide contains some practical steps to help you improve your reading in English and develop your reading skills and strategies in a reading test. All right, so the test that we're gonna take today is very much like a Cambridge test, except that it's American, but they copied Cambridge, and, to keep it short. They just made it American. So reading in general, the first thing you can do to improve your reading is to read in general. All right. So today is October 5th, 2020, and our objective is to polish our reading and listening skills. Now, we can't improve it like dramatically in just 2 days. That's not gonna happen. But there are a lot of things that we can perfect or that we can change now that will make a big difference. So as I was saying, this is the first step, reading in general. Mr. Alarcon, could you do us a favor and read the first one, letter A?
Reading in general. Read as much as possible. Try to read in English as often as possible. A little bit every day or two helps a lot. Go back and reread texts a second time and a third time. This helps to familiarize you with the use of English in real sentences and oh my God,
Sorry, sorry, I want to make it bigger.
and expressions. Shit, my eyes. And that's it.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Okay, so you can apply this right now. For those of you who don't read, or those people that say, I don't like to read, that it's not that you don't like to read. I really think it's that you just don't know how to read. You think it's boring because you don't read correctly. And I will explain that in a few minutes. Miguel.
Yes.
Could you read letter B, please? Yes.
Yeah, can you make it a little bit bigger for me, please?
Of course.
If you don't mind.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Or bigger? Okay.
Read for fun. Reading is at its most enjoyable when the flow is uninterrupted, when you get absorbed in a good story or an interesting article. When time flies by, it's no different when you read in another language. If a text is too difficult, if there are too many words or phrases you don't understand, then reading becomes difficult. It stops being fun. Where possible, Don't just read for study and work purposes. Read things that interest you too.
You know, it's very funny. You know, I'm going back to what we said earlier that people that say they don't like to read, they just don't know how to read. Everybody reads. You know, if you have a Facebook, then you're always reading statuses. You're reading the things on the memes. Twitter, you're reading tweets. Instagram, you're reading the captions or whatever those are called, the comments. And I'm pretty sure that if an article comes on Facebook about something that you really, really like me, I used to be one of those people that says, I hate reading. And then I realized that, no, I actually love reading, except that I don't like to read the things that my teachers tell me to read. They tell me to read about science, to read about math, to read about Harry Potter. I don't like that. I want to read about technology. I want to read about, you know, animals and their natural habitat. So if you can find something that you really, really enjoy, like Miguel dancing, maybe if Miguel saw a book about how Michael Jackson learned how to dance, maybe
Right.
Miguel would like to read that,
Mm-hmm.
right? Maybe if
Yes.
Luis saw a book that says how to make money playing video games, he might read that book. He might read that book. You know, it all has to be something that
I'm
is
on
here in
it.
the heart, you know? Yes, right? Something that is here in the heart. Like everybody reads, man. We just don't like to read the things that our school teachers tell us to read. Okay? So if the only thing you read, like if you spend like 4 hours on Facebook, you are basically reading like 4 hours. Like unless you're watching a video, you're reading for 4 hours. The memes, the comments, the posts. Um, so you know, everybody reads, and one of the best things to do is, you know, to continue reading for fun. That's why I always tell my beginner students, you know, follow celebrities that you like on Facebook that speak English. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Leonardo DiCaprio, Will Smith, follow them. Okay, if you like Bruno Mars, follow him. Keep up with him. Like, know when
Donald
he's
Trump.
doing or what he's doing. Donald Trump. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Kidding, I'm kidding.
All right. Gabriella, letter C, please.
Keep on reading. It's natural to stop in a text at a word or expression we don't understand and freeze. Unfamiliar words can disrupt the flow of reading and understanding. Don't stop. Don't stop when you arrive at an unfamiliar word. Then skip it and keep reading. When you get to the end of the passage, re, read it a second time using the same technique. The context with the words you do understand should help you to unlock the general meaning of the whole text. You can revisit words you don't know later and look them up in a dictionary or ask someone.
Very good. Does anybody do any of these things? Diana.
I do most of the time.
Yes.
I read horror novels, so weird words.
Yep.
Stephen King.
Okay. Those of you who read a lot, you know, those people tend to be great writers too, because they see how you know, stuff is written, the punctuation.
I
So
love to read.
yes, read. And if you don't understand a word, who cares? You know, I always tell my students, they say, teacher, it's because I don't understand many words. I'm like, but do you understand the story? Yes, teacher, but I understand the words. Who cares about the words? You know, if you understand the main idea, that's the most important thing. And if you're really worried about that word, then Google it. Find it on Google. But if it's not gonna kill you, then don't worry. Miguel, could you read the
Someone
next
or
one?
sometimes
Yeah. D. Reading improves everything. Lots of research has been carried out on reading in a foreign language, and it clearly shows that reading practice doesn't just improve reading. It also helps you to get better at English in writing, speaking, and listening as you become more familiar with words and how words are used in context.
Yes,
Right.
I
That's
totally
true.
agree. One time, I had a group, and I had been with that group for a year and 3 months. So things were starting to get boring. When you're with the person for a long time, things get boring. So I decided to do something different, and I said, everybody, bring me 100 pesos. I'm gonna order you a book from the United States. And I ordered them this book. It was a children's book for like 10, 11-year-old people, but it was really easy to read, so they enjoyed it a lot. Like, teacher, oh my God, I understand this. I was like, yes, it's your level. Like, this is your level. You have the level of a sixth or seventh grader from the United States in terms of English. And like, oh yes, I really like this. And there were like 5 or 6 words that they didn't understand per chapter, and the chapter was like 10 or 12 pages, so they really enjoyed it. And it was, children's books are fun. I prefer to read those than adult books. And you know after that, because it took us 2 months to read that book. After those 2 months, I realized that those guys were really good at their writing. Like, they were bad at writing. Well, not everybody, but the ones that were really bad, they improved drastically. So, guys, read in English. And those of you who have chicks at home, reading is infectious. If your children
Teacher,
see you reading, the chances are they are going to pick up the habit themselves in any language.
uh,
Yes?
I would like to share when I was taking ESL classes in Chicago, I got a book on those how you call those stores. So this is $1 everything, uh,
Poetry.
something like that. So this is a good. I don't know if you see. Um, it's like 100 story American stories, but they are short, and you enjoy those stories because they are easy to understand. But you get it's like what they say is like it becomes a hobby because you enjoy the story, and it's not difficult to because it's an easy vocabulary. Just wanted to share that experience.
Yes. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and nowadays, you can find a lot of free books online. A lot of free books. Who here knows about El Principito?
I do.
me. I
Yes,
do.
you can find it online for free in English,
Yes.
right?
My
It,
childhood.
the childhood. Yes. Now, all of that stuff is cool, but this is the stuff that we need right here. Luis, could you read A, please? Is it big enough, or should I make it bigger?
That's fine.
Okay.
Um, reading in exams. A, be prepared. Know exactly what each type of question is asking you to do. Is it a multiple choice? Is it filling in the gaps of a text? How many words do you have to write? How much time do you have? It's a good idea to underline important words in any exam question to help you focus on the instructions.
Okay. Out of this paragraph, what is the most important thing that you? Well, what do you think is the most important thing?
You're asking me or in general?
Everybody.
Okay. Well, for me, the important part is to actually read the instructions.
Yep.
to that's it. To
You know what to do.
to know what you're going to do, yeah, what you are allowed to do and what you have to do, and that's it.
Underline important words.
Like scamming and skimming.
Well, yes, those are some good sub skills. Okay, but yes, like that's the first thing, guys. Those are there are people that first read the article and then read the questions. That's not a good idea because if you read the article first, you'll forget about the article, and then you have to read the question, and then you have to read the article again. But if you look at the questions and then find the answer, that's a better strategy. You save time.
Yes.
Okay. But it also depends on the type of question, because if it's a question that says, "What is this article about?" Well, you have to read everything. Okay.
I
But
have
if you don't
a
have
tip.
those type of questions, then don't read everything. Yes, Gabby.
Okay, I have a tip. When you need to get the main idea of a text, you need to read for example, the first two or three sentences and the last two or three sentences of the text, and depending on that, it's how you are going to get the idea, and you save a
Yes,
lot of time.
that's a good one. Yes, I always say that when you have an article in front of you, the first thing you need to do is read the title. Sometimes we forget to read the title,
Yes,
and
it happens.
we need to read the what are the other things called? Not the subtitles, but the little things under them. Ah, I
Yes.
forgot. We will see.
Okay,
What would you call that though? Like
no,
for example,
I
this right here, reading in exams is the title, and then these little
okay.
things, what would you call them? Be prepared, speed up. What are they called?
And then from those
Title.
subtitles, I can get the idea. But in case of TOEFL, sometimes the subtitles are no when the no the some words are less related to the main topic, and sometimes the idea could be in the center of the text. I don't know
Yeah,
if you
exactly.
have seen.
Yes, yes. So as Gabby said, always read the first two sentences and the last two sentences of the article. And if it's a longer passage, then read the first and last sentences of each paragraph, you know, of each paragraph. But remember, the first paragraph has the introduction. It states the main idea. And at the end, it should restate the main idea again. So keep those things in mind. Speed up, Uriel, can you read that?
Yes, sir. Speed up. In exam situations, you will often need to read a text more quickly than before. Practice reading text quickly. You can time yourself. For example, give yourself 3 minutes to read 300 words. Then give yourself 2 minutes to read 300 words. Then try 1 minute. Try in 1 minute. You can repeat this idea with the same text at first, but then try it with different texts as you get better at it.
Yes, this is a good one. And something that would help you read faster, guys, um, is to use your left hand to point at the things you are reading. Okay, it will help you a lot if you can, follow what you are reading. Not only will it help you read faster because you won't lose your space, but it will also help you understand more because you're involving physical movement. Okay, that is a little tip that I learned from this brain coach called Jim Quick, and it works. Miguel, your microphone.
Sorry. Don't freeze. Remember, in an exam, you aren't allowed to ask someone or look up a new word. If you know a word and you can guess a general meaning from the other words around it, then skip it. Don't waste time.
Yes. Okay. A lot of times, you know, don't be that controlling student. Oh, I need to know everything. I need to know everything.
It happens to me.
It will not work. It will
Right.
not work. It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna try to get out of that habit. That is the objective, to get out of that habit. Well, the next one, Celine, can you read D?
Okay. D. Make prediction. When a question gives your multi answer to choose from, try to answer the question without looking on the answer first. Then look on the answer and check if one matches your prediction.
Yes. Well, one great reading strategy is to make predictions. It will help you connect with the writing a little more. Practice. Gabby?
Practice. There are lots of materials available to help you prepare for Cambridge English qualifications, such as A2 Key or B1 Preliminary. Get as much practice as you can with different question types from the reading paper. You can find information on your books from Cambridge University Press in www.cambridge.org and links to extra resources, sample tests, and more from Cambridge Assessment English in that page again.
Yes. All right. So we are not taking a Cambridge test, but we are going to have lots of practice. Like I said earlier, we have 2 sample tests before you take the real one, and it will help you get familiarized with the format of this test, which is what this one is basically telling us to do. So now I want us to take a look at our reading. Let's see, where is my reading? One moment while I find this thing. Um, can everybody see this right here? Or is it too small?
A little bit bigger should be fine, but it's okay.
Yeah. Let me make it a little bit bigger then.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this is what's gonna be like an example writing. But first, I would like for you to get your notebooks, please,
Sure.
because you're going to write down some questions in your notebook.
All right.
You ready?
Yes, sir. I'm ready.
Okay, so these are going to be the type of questions they're going to ask on here. Okay, number one, the passage is about. A, facts about the coffee system in America.
The
B,
coffee?
coffee, yes, sorry, I put, geez, here we go, coffee. Okay, a study analyzing coffee. Consumers' history. Or C, the history behind coffee's world expansions. Okay. Second question is, many authoritarian figures disliked A, coffee because it had an ability to create an environment that led to the expression of ideas. B, coffee's negative popularity with the King of England and how it affected his ability to rule the country. C, coffee's ability to make people show a desire to resist rules and show proper social behavior. And one more question. What does the word spot mean in the sentence? You will spot 628 coffee shops there, the most in the United States. A, pass by. B, lose sight of. Or C, catch sight of. Whenever you have these questions written down, please let me know. First thing that you should do.
Read the title.
Read the title.
To check the questions before? Well,
Yes, read the title and
well.
check the questions, right?
Right.
So
Read
in this
instructions.
case, yes, instructions too, right? All right. So let's do those three things. We have Copy for the Masses. That's the name of the title. Instructions. Please read carefully and choose the correct answer. Oh, very straightforward. And here are our questions. Okay, so let's read our questions. Number one, the passage is about. And number 2, many authoritative figures disliked. 3, what does the word spot mean in the sentence, you will spot 628 coffee shops there, the most in the United States. Okay, those are our 3 questions. Now, out of those 3 questions, which one do you think is the easiest to answer?
The first one.
The first one. Okay, the passage is about. Okay. Does everybody agree with Miguel?
Well, I haven't read the article yet, but
Okay. Yes. Like I don't want you to think about the article yet. Just answer that question. Which question do you think is the easiest? Miguel says the first one. Uriel, Gabby, what do you say?
The third one.
Third one.
I say
Uriel?
the third one.
Yeah, the third one. I think that already had the answer.
Yes. Celine?
yeah, that's me too.
All right. What do you think the third one is?
To pass by, I think.
Okay. Good. You made a prediction. Now let's see. Let's take turns reading.
Okay.
Remember, if you can, use your left finger to read along. Or your right finger. I don't know if you're left-handed or right-handed. It's better. But please use this. Use this.
What for?
Okay, I will
You
read
say?
first.
Oh,
Your finger. Every morning, millions of Americans reach for their cup of coffee. This is the first thing they do. They drink it at their kitchen table, at the nearby coffee shop, or in their cars. A current online study revealed that Americans drink a lot of coffee, over 150 billion cups a year. All right, from the first paragraph, what can we get?
Yeah, some facts about coffee in
culture.
America.
So far, can we answer any questions?
I think
No,
not yet.
Right.
Not yet.
it's the introduction only. That's introduction.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. Now let's do Gabby's strategy where you read the first and last sentences. Now look at the last sentence. Today, when coffee drinking Americans sip their coffee, they should be thankful to the Dutch. Just ask any person living in Seattle, Washington. You will spot 628 coffee shops there, the most in the United States. Okay, I think we can answer a question. So, which one can we answer with the last one? The last 2 sentences.
Maybe C. Maybe the first one, which is C.
Catch
Number
sight
1, the
of.
passage is about.
Or,
Yeah, I think.
It is catch sight of, yes.
yeah.
What does the word spot mean in the sentence? You will spot 620 coffee shops there, the most in the United States. You will catch sight of, right?
You will see, right?
Yeah, you will see. Not lose sight of, you know, that wouldn't make sense. And
Right.
pass by, well, I don't think you're going to pass by 628 coffee shops. You know, but you
Mostly
can see
Starbucks.
them. Yeah, you can see them maybe. Okay.
Mhm.
So number 3 is definitely C. Now, let's see. You have 3 minutes to answer the other 2 questions. Actually, 2 minutes. At 8:30, we're stopping. Okay, let's check our answers. Um, we already said that number 3 is C. Okay, and that is correct. I completely agree with you. But what is number 1?
I think it's B.
You think B, Miguel? What do you think, Uriel?
I think C.
C. Gabby, what do you think? Gabby?
I think it's B.
I think it's B. Celine, what do you think?
B. A. The first.
First one. Okay,
The
everybody,
first.
give me reasons for your answer. Uriel, why do you say C?
Well, it starts with the history behind the coffee, and I think that the origin, but then it starts to say how the coffee was expanded to the entire world by the Dutch. So I think that's the reason.
Yeah, I would agree with Uriel.
C. Well, if you agree with Uriel, then you are correct. Why? Well, you know, the first thing, it says, well, where does it start? It starts talking about the history right here, throughout history in the second paragraph. Then in 1700s, in the 15th century, 16th century, today, you know, it's all of, everything is about the history, everything.
Yes.
And it's not talking about the consumer's history, you know, what they did and how much they bought, um, and how much of a business it was. It was talking about how they expanded. Where did it start?
Yemen.
Where did coffee start?
Yemen.
Yemen, right?
Yeah.
And then it talks about how it went to, I think the Dutch, right? The Dutch stole it.
Solar
and they,
plantations. Yeah.
yes. So number 1 is definitely C.
C.
Okay. All about the history. And many authoritarian figures dislike what? What do they dislike about this?
I have A for that.
A.
A. Yeah.
A.
Yeah.
Gabby, Celine, what do you say?
I have letter C.
Letter C. Okay.
Yeah.
Celine?
Oh. Mm, A.
A.
The first.
Okay. Gabby, why do you have C? Tell me about that.
Because in the text says that first it's pointed an advantage, but this for the head of enterprises or something like that, it wasn't a very good idea. Why? Because the people who used to drink coffee was able, for example, to think, and they didn't want to be ruled by anyone else, for example, something like that.
Where does it say that? Tell me.
Um, it is on the second paragraph, and mm, on the third line, from third line to 5th line. Through history, coffee has been a controversial A controversial topic, since coffee is a type of drink that creates a welcoming environment that makes people feel free to converse and express ideas. Many authoritarian figures dislike it. The thought of assembly was believed to lead to rebellion against authority, which motivated aristocratic groups to ban coffee. It's because of that I I choose the letter C. Is it okay? Or not?
Well, let's see. Let's see. We are stuck between A and C. So definitely not B. And I'm glad nobody chose B. That would be really wrong. Uh, so we're stuck between A, coffee, because it had an ability to create an environment that led to the expression of ideas, or C, coffee's ability to make people show a desire to risk rules and show proper social behavior and show proper social behavior. Okay, well, let's see. Since coffee is the type of drink that creates a welcoming environment and makes people free to converse and express ideas, many authoritative figures disliked it. So a coffee, because it had an ability to create an environment that led to the expression of ideas. Okay, the thought of assembly was believed to lead to rebellion against authority, which motivated aristocrat groups to ban coffee. Okay, so yes, it talks about resisting rules. So, both of you are correct in that case, where it talks about expression of ideas and resisting rules. But where does it talk about show proper social behavior? Where? Or does it? I don't think it does. I don't think it mentions anything about proper social behavior. Or do you agree or disagree, Gabby?
No, so it's letter A.
I think just express about the ideas that to be
Yes.
feel free about expressions.
Yes. So look, you got to be really careful.
Yep.
You got to be really careful because it mentions expression of ideas and desire to resist rules, but it does not mention anything about showing proper social behavior. And
Yep.
that's going to be the number one thing right there. Like your answers are going to have the correct things, but one incorrect thing in it, maybe the wrong word or maybe the wrong sentence. And you got to pay really close attention to that. All right.
Yeah, it's when it gets you confused.
Yes, and that's why I don't like reading tests.
Yeah.
All right. So I have let's see, two more questions about this. Okay.
Let's do this.
You can answer these as a. All right. So it's going to be a lot of writing, so you don't have to write it. Okay. But I'm going to place them here. If you see that I make a mistake, please tell me. I'm going to write without looking at the computer. I'm not an expert yet, but I try.
Yes, sir.
Okay. According to the passage, what is the most likely reason as to why would as to why people would people from Yemen heavily guard coffee plants? A, they had become economically dependent on the sale of the drink. by preventing other people from having access to the plant. They could protect their business. Okay, long answer. B. They had become economically dependent, sorry, independent from other countries. By not selling coffee plants, they ensured that other countries would not take Yemen back. And C, the coffee plant was an important part of their culture. It only grew in the Arabian Peninsula, and they considered it sacred. Um, so, which one do you think it is?
There's something about C, but I don't remember the last part. They consider it sacred.
Okay, I will. I will write the second question, and then we're gonna compare it to the writing, to the reading. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
A. Drinking coffee had the same effects as drinking alcohol. It made people act with unusual energy. B. Coffee shops caused suspicious behavior, and men feared that women would start working at the coffee shops. See, drinking coffee created space where women could talk to each other and express themselves. Flags. So, Miguel, what were you telling me about number one?
Oh, I think it's C, but let me read it.
Okay, everybody, what do you think it is? It is C, A, or B? Number one.
I think that it's letter A.
I think it's A. Okay. How about you, Miguel? A or C or B?
Let me see.
Celine and Gabby, what do you think it is?
Uh, can you repeat?
Yeah. What do you think? The answer is to number one. Take your time. Take your time to.
I'm ready.
Yes. And remember, you have to have reasons. I want you to support your answer. Support it. So, Uriel, you say A, but give me reasons why. What did you see?
Yeah, I think that it's letter A because they became economically dependent of the coffee, and they prevent that other countries take it by, it says on the text, by at any price. They will not sell their precious coffee. So I
I
think they're
think
really
letter B.
dependent. But letter B, I don't think so because they said that they have become independent for other countries, but there's no information about that. And letter C, it says that it only grew in the Arabian Peninsula. I'm not sure because, well, the Dutch took it and it grew in other places, but I'm not sure.
Because they stole it. Someone stole it. Some
Yeah.
bushes. That's why.
All right. So he has a good point. Miguel, what do you say? A, B, or C?
Because I can read letter the whole part. They have become.
You can't read what?
Letter C. Let me see. Give me a second. Give me a second. I think it's A.
A. What
Because the
what what
first,
what supports?
because it was a good business for them. They protect the business, so the grain or the plant shouldn't leave the country. but it was like letter B. It's not that because it doesn't say anything about taking Yemen back. Letter C doesn't say anything about the plan being sacred. So I guess I keep letter A because it's more about business.
Okay.
I
Okay.
mean,
Okay. Claudia, what did you say it was?
Letter. I thought letter mm, letter B because it talk about some countries. But at the end, I think this letter A because as
Okay.
my partner say, the text talk about some business that many countries um, mention the coffee.
Okay. Cool. Thank you. Gabby, what do you think? Gabby?
Ah, okay. It's letter B. Local people didn't want to sell at any price the plant at any price.
So you think it's B?
Yes, it's B.
Okay. Why? Like, you said because they didn't want to sell the
Uh,
plant at any price.
yeah, in the text, yes, in the text, it was said that they didn't want to sell it, and also, where let me see again, at any price, and nobody can, and it says that nobody could take the plant and introduce it to other countries until the Dutchman came and could do it.
Okay. So where does it say that they were independent? Where?
Um, okay, little country, this little country. My God, oh, it doesn't say anything about it. I know it doesn't say anything. Oh my God, no.
Okay. So it's not B, right?
No, it's
But
not.
is it A or C?
Oh my God, what a tricky exam. A or B? No, A or C? It's A, definitely.
It's A, definitely. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And guys, yes, you are correct. They had become economically dependent. Now it doesn't say anywhere they were dependent on coffee, but it says here coffee had become an important business for this little country. And when if it's an important business, you depend on this business, okay? And they can protect their business. That is all. They protect their business, okay? And number two, according to the passage, why did men think that that the drinking of coffee might make women rebellious against them? A, B, or C?
can I read the passage again?
I mean, it's right here
Oh,
in
okay.
the top half. Yeah.
Okay.
It's letter A.
It's letter A. Okay.
think letter B.
Letter B. Okay.
Okay, let me check.
Give me reasons. Okay.
All right.
Okay, letter A is
Well, it says in the it says men thought coffee might make women become rebellious against them. So I think that Derby says something similar, but in other words, cause suspicious behavior. And I fear that women will start working at the coffee shops. I think that they were only there, but they fear that they start working on the coffee shop.
while men are curious.
So you are like inferring that.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes it's good to infer.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody have anything that would contradict what Uriel said?
Mm,
Not yet, but I've only have um,
No. Everybody thinks it's B.
no, well,
the only no. I think it's A. I think it's A. It,
Why?
it says in the it is on the text. They compare, no, okay. Religious groups try to ban alcohol, coffee as well. They compare they compare they compare it to drink alcohol because the church leaders noticed that drinking the black steamy liquid made people act with unusual energy. Because of that uh, that sentence, it
Okay.
says the exact words. Okay, it's the
So
principal, the main idea, or the exact words.
so
Liquid made people act with unusual energy.
okay.
That's the reason why I
I
say A.
I like to test my students. Um, so who thinks that it it had the same effects as drinking alcohol? Men or the religious groups?
the church, the church. When they say they, it's about the church. And I think for me, it would be letter C, even though it doesn't say anything about expressing themselves, but that's how they make women rebellious because the the effects of the coffee. Because none of the
Okay.
three answers are like
100%.
100% right. There's a little slight difference on each one, but
Okay.
C is the closest one.
So what do you think is missing from letter C?
I think you should it should be added. Drinking coffee created a space where women could talk to each other. It doesn't say anything about that. They talk to each other and express themselves. But it was like it's kind of confusing.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, this one is probably the most difficult question because it mentions something from each answer. You know,
Right?
but the correct answer is C.
See,
Drinking
oh
coffee created a
yes,
space where women could talk to each other and express themselves.
yes,
Why? Well, at the same time, men banned women from coffee shops. Men thought coffee might make women more become rebellious against them. Okay,
right.
that's the question. Why did men think that drinking coffee might make women rebellious against them? Well, in the article, it does not say that men think drinking alcohol has the same effect as drinking coffee, and it does not mention anywhere about they would start working at the coffee shops. But it does mention somewhere that they could talk to each other and express themselves, and it mentioned that in the previous paragraph. Okay, since coffee is a type of drink that creates a welcoming environment that makes people free to converse and express ideas, many authoritative figures disliked it. So it mentioned that idea in the first paragraph about expressing
Right.
themselves. Yes, in this case, authoritative figures disliked it, but men know that coffee is the type of drink that creates makes people want to talk, and that is the whole thing. Okay, so C has everything in the article. Okay? And well, that is how the reading test is going to be. Okay.
All
Now we spent like an hour doing this. Mostly it was my fault because I lost the page and I had to write the answers. I'm really sorry about that.
right. Okay.
But in the real test, guys, you're gonna have like 1 minute per question, and that's not including the article. Okay, so you're gonna have 20 minutes for the reading. There are 20 questions, and there are 4 articles. Okay, so 5 questions for each article, and like we did, we answer the first questions the best we can. All right. We answer the first questions the best we can, and if we have trouble, like we did with the last question, we spent a lot of time because we have the time. We're trying to discuss different techniques, and it's very important for me that you see that just because it says one thing correct on each answer does not mean that the answer is correct. Okay. And well, if you come across a question that is that difficult on the real test, skip it or choose what you think is the best. Eliminate the question that is obviously not correct, and then you're down 50-50. You can pray, God, please help me, and choose the correct answer. You have 50-50 chance. Okay, that's how I was taught, and that's how I want you to do it too. All right.
Okie dokie.
Okay, guys. Well, tonight I'm going to be checking your writing. I might be responding a little late. If you want to, you can mute my number because I'll probably respond at like at 11, 12, sending you back your writings, especially if you just sent it to me like during the class. For those of you who have not sent me the writing, please send it to me as soon as possible so I can check it. It usually takes me like 10 to 15 minutes to check your writing, okay? So it's gonna take time. All right. Well, guys, thank you for coming to the class. Tomorrow, we're gonna have the sample test.
Yes, thank you guys.
Okay.
Have a good night.
Good night, guys.
So please be early tomorrow, Gabby, Claudia, Celine. Okay?
Yes,
Will do.
everybody.
All right.
Yes, teacher, yes.
We'll see you. Have a good night, guys.
See you.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.